I call this meeting to order. This is the Commissioners' meeting of May 24th, 2023 at 6 p.m. at the Sussex County Administrative Center in the Commissioner Meeting Room on 1 Spring Street in Newton, New Jersey. Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley.
Here.
Director Carney.
Here.
Commissioner Fantasia. Here. Commissioner Hayden.
Here.
Commissioner Space.
Here.
Thank you. Moment of silence and a salute to the flag. I would like to take a moment of silence for all the veterans who never made it home. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4, public statement. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, PL 1975, adequate notice as defined by Section 3D of Chapter 231, PL 1975 has been made by regular mail and email, and such notice has been submitted on January 4th, 2023 from the Administrative Center for the County of Sussex, located at 1 Spring Street, Newton, New Jersey, to the following: New Jersey Herald and the Star Ledger. It is also posted on the bulletin board maintained in the Administrative Center for public announcements and has been submitted to the Sussex County Clerk's Office in compliance with said act. At this time, please mute all electronic devices. Number 5 is approval of agenda. With a motion to approve the agenda. So moved. Commissioner Hayden, can I have a second? Commissioner Space, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain, carries. Number 6, proclamations, certificates, presentations. We do have a presentation from Horizon. They're stuck in traffic, so we will come back to them. Number 7 is public hearing. There is none. 8 is public session from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make a comment of 3 minutes or less regarding agenda item. Please line up at the microphone, state your name, municipality, and agenda topic for the record. Can I get a motion to open the floor for public comment?
So moved.
Commissioner Space, have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Fantasia, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Carries. Come on up, sir.
Thank you. My name is Ed Stablo. I live in Stillwater. I was here, I believe, 5 meetings ago, and had come up with an idea. I had heard that Warren County, in fact, had gotten to the point where they don't owe any money. They had through some miracle or a lot of hard work, ended up in that kind of a situation. And I felt that in as much as Sussex most clearly resembled Warren, and since it certainly sounded like a great idea, it would be something I would ask you folks to consider, to take a look at, and to think about, to see if there might be a pathway for us in Sussex to perhaps follow the same path. I knew nothing happens overnight or in a hurry, and so I decided to wait a little while before I came back. And here I am to see if you had decided to do anything about that issue, whether you felt it was worthwhile, whether I had asked if possibly someone on the board would be able to do a little homework and perhaps investigate. So I'm on a follow-up, and I'd like to know if anything has been accomplished in that area, and if you might be able to tell me where we sit at this time.
You're done?
Anybody?
Well, I'll comment just a little bit, brief, because this isn't Q&A. We do have a debt reduction plan. Warren County is a little different than us. They had a lot more assets than we have to sell off. So there's a different animal, right? Apples and oranges we're comparing ourselves to. But any board member up here is always looking to cut our debt. The longest person that's been on this board is Herb. So it's been changing a lot, and the debt that we inherited isn't the debt of this board. So year after year, when we cut our budget, we also cut our debt. And I'll leave it at that.
I'd like to speak on that.
Go ahead.
In 2019, when I came on the board with Josh Hertzberg,
we proposed a debt reduction plan that actually was a 10-year debt reduction plan when the prior plan was 35 years, even suggested to be 50 years. We sat with Commissioner Herb Yardley, who's the director at the time as well, and our professionals, and we were able to put in place a plan so that at the 10-year mark, we would not be bonding. We would be even. We haven't deviated from that plan through COVID. This year, as a matter of fact, we borrowed the least that we have ever borrowed in the history of the board, I would say, for bonding, as far back as I can remember any of the documents that we had looked at. This year, we actually ended up bonding for roughly $6 million when we cap ourselves at 10, and we actually were able to self-fund $6 million plus ourselves with funds that we had banked. So we are on track. COVID did not throw us off. So the plan has been in place since 2019.
Mr. Sabo, you have 1 minute remaining. You have 1 minute of comment remaining.
Well, I would just like to ask, is there anything available to the public that's in writing that would describe the progress you've made and what your plans are for the remaining term?
At this time, I'm going to say there is not, because it varies from year to year.
Is there any intention to put one in place so that the public could see it in black and white writing?
Yeah, go ahead.
If
So,
I could,
okay, yeah, go ahead.
what we can give you is a copy of the plan. I think that's really what you want to know. What is our plan? And so there is a debt reduction program, and I will ask our administrator to provide that to you. That's been available since it took place in 2019. There was a public hearing on it at that time. So the plan is there's debt reductions, and long-term, we will reduce the debt. That's what the plan says. Instead of just bonding, the whole idea is to bond less so that we get to pay as you go.
That's perfectly fine, and I'd be very happy to get it. Is there any way to get a couple of paragraphs and an update as to what it looks like on a current basis?
Sure. Every time we do our budget, that is part of the budget program where we generally talk about that. But I think it's pretty easy. We'll give you the copy of that plan.
Thank you very much.
Yep. That suffice for you, Mr. Sabo? That'll work? Okay, thank you. Anybody else from the public?
Hello, my name is Wendy Whipple. I'm a resident of Andover Township. I was here a few months ago to speak to the board regarding the Dennis Library renovation. At that, I know Helen Heckman was here last month, and she's been talking to the township, the Newton Town Board. I'm wondering what the progress has been on this. I also, before I forget, I want to say thank you for the roof on the Euless Child's Library. As many of you may remember, I was the branch coordinator when that building was constructed, so I'm very happy to see that the county has done due diligence in keeping up the physical plan, because I know those are big ticket items. So what I'm wondering is, the last time I was here, the county treasurer, the county engineer, and the solicitor were all asked to contribute something in the investigation regarding the continuation of that project for the Dennis Library using the rainy day homestead funds. And I was also promised that someone would be speaking with the county library director. So I'm wondering what the update is.
I'll just give you a quick update. I know Mr. Steinhardt might want to add to this, but we're still in the process of doing that. Nothing has come to fruition at this time.
Okay. Has the county engineer been involved, or the architect?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, you'll be expecting a report then?
Absolutely.
regarding
Yeah,
the
they're currently doing that.
Okay, and you've spoken to the county library director regarding if the project needs to be amended, come within the budget, then has someone spoken with him?
Not without having the details from the architect. There would be nothing to
Okay.
talk about yet. The architect's
Okay.
going to do a review. We'll have that review in hand, something tangible that we can go back to the director with.
And that's sort
And the
of
board, for that matter.
And that's sort of where I've come in, because there's a legal question of whether or not, if we deviate from the plans that were submitted to get the grant, whether or not we can still, can we do it piecemeal? And we haven't gotten an answer back from them yet.
Who did you request?
So I have to get, that's an answer we have to get from the state, the granting authority. So,
From the state of New
yeah,
York?
so they're the only ones that can tell us whether or not, if we try to do less than, and then part of the problem is, post-COVID, post-pandemic, and as a result of just significant inflation, the dollar doesn't go quite as far as it did when it first got designed, right? So, which is unfortunately what forced the commission's hand. So, it's a perfect storm of problems that they're doing their best to try to manage. But from my end, I'm just trying to figure out if we get an answer that we can only do X, but the original approval was for Y, does that mean we have to start all over again? And so
And that's-
I'm trying to avoid that at every.
That's a compliance issue if,
No, it's more of a contractual issue. Just in other words, if you and I entered into a contract to build a deck for you, and I'm supposed to build it out of Trex, or I'm supposed, and I'll do all this, and I come to you and I say, and you're supposed to pay me X, and I can't get certain of the materials. I say I can only do whatever, but the price is still the same, and you might say, well, but I'm not getting the same stuff. So, how do we negotiate a deal where you're still getting what you want, or spending, whatever amount of money is available to spend? So, because there's a contract involved that awards that money, we've got to try to make sure that we're still in compliance with it.
right, okay, because I just wanted to remind the board and the people that are here that in 2017, the voters of Sussex County did endorse the Library Construction Act that was signed into law by Governor Christie. So many things have happened since then, but I do think that the board needs to be reminded that there are people in Sussex County that still feel that's a very viable expenditure of those rainy day funds as it was discussed back in 2020. So any timetable are we talking about at this point, or we don't know?
1 minute?
I was gonna guess, just don't hold me to this. I would
I'm
hope,
not gonna put it in the paper.
as much as I like to get something done, there's just a lot of work behind it. And again, just like Mr. Steinhardt said,
Yeah.
in the inflation's has been crazy.
And
I
you
could
know-
sit here and tell you all the things that we looked to purchase the last year and either doubled or possibly tripled.
Anybody who owns a home has been through that, so I do understand.
So it's not so cut and dry. So
Okay.
that $7 million to build this library is possibly 10 to 11, right? So there's a lot more work behind it now. So
All right.
it's something you can't force.
It's the handicap accessibility issue that really concerns me the most.
Absolutely. Her deputy director and myself went and looked at that about 3 weeks ago, and we noticed that, obviously.
Yeah, I
It's
heard that you had done that.
Yes,
Thank
we
you
did.
very much.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
appreciate it.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank
I'll
you.
stay in touch.
Anybody else? Since we have Horizon, you guys want to,
Motion to close the floor for public
public hearing?
comment?
You want to leave them in public?
Well, see, well,
Agenda
one-
items.
Hear a presentation, right?
All right, we'll close and we'll go back to presentations, that's fine. All right, motion to close the floor to public.
So moved.
Mr. Fantasia, second. Mr. Hayden, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Abstain, opposed, carries. Okay, we're gonna go back to presentations. Horizon's here, if you guys want to just step up.
Thank you, Commissioners, and I apologize, Bergen with Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield. My apologies for being late. So I just did want to give you an update of where we stand. Obviously, we had several issues with the administration of the HRA plan, specifically on Medicare eligible retirees. We were here 2 weeks ago, and Anna gave a brief update. So we're ready to implement the changes. They will go into effect starting tomorrow. We're going to run another manual file next week. Everything's been all straightened out. So what's going to happen is the in-network providers will be paid directly by Further, which is our HRA administrator. The out-of-network checks will go to the members. Okay. In addition to that, obviously there's a backlog of claims that members have been manually submitting. So Eric, who's the new account manager for this county of Sussex, he's been working on those. But what we're also going to do is run 2 reports. One from the Horizons perspective, where the member is in relation to their deductible, and then one from the Further, which is our HRA administrator. In theory, the 2 should match. So what we're hoping to find out any anomalies there. This way, we can prevent the retirees from having to continually submit manual claim submissions, so we can expedite the disbursement of checks that much quicker. And I do appreciate everybody's patience. I know this has not been easy on anybody here, especially the HR folks and obviously the retirees. So again, my apologies for that, but we will get this straightened out.
So before I just open up to the commissioners if they have any questions, so we will no longer be dealing with Anna.
Correct.
Correct. You are, our new Eric. Eric, nice to meet you. So that'll be our new contact. So
Yes.
you'll continue coming to our meetings every meeting and discussing, and then meeting with our retirees on the Thursday after. Okay, okay, good. I appreciate you coming. Thank you. Herb, do you have anything?
Are you going to send a letter out to everybody? Okay.
Yeah, obviously it's gonna be changed because, you know, we've gone back and forth a couple different times, so we will send a letter out to the retirees and all members impacted by this, just let them know what's gonna happen going forward. So, we're basically gonna go back to how it was several months ago, where the in-network provider paid directly, out-of-network was going to the members.
And, okay, I'm glad you're doing that, but there are just some of the people that came were just out for collection and stuff, and I think it's just important to make sure they understand what's happening. And I don't know if you have to send it out to local providers to let them know if there's outstanding bills that you're gonna do something, but those are kinds of things would be helpful, just because people are very emotional over this, and I think
Sure,
it's
no, absolutely, it's understood. So obviously, we can certainly reach out to the highly utilized providers to let them know what's going on, and certainly, I think that will address most of the issues, but absolutely.
Thank you.
Commissioner Fantasia, anything?
No, I'm just glad to hear that, honestly, there's progress in it, and there's a deadline. I know sometimes we were just talking about a library deadline, right, but it seemed like that deadline was kind of in the ether or undetermined. So it is, I like the cut and dried approach. I like the factual approach of saying in-network is direct pay, out-of-network check goes to the retiree, and I like the cross-checking element that you shared with us. I think that'll save a lot of headaches for a lot of people, so thank you.
Commissioner Space?
No, I'm good.
Commissioner Hayden?
I'm good.
Well, we really appreciate you coming. Thank you. Hopefully we can clear this all up. All right. Number 9 is Commissioner's comments. Commissioner Hayden, you want to start?
Sure. As it's Memorial Day weekend, this weekend, the Sussex County Library System will be closed from May 27th to 29th. But the digital library is always open, so if you're planning a long weekend of relaxation with a good book, but forgot the book, don't despair, said Library Director Will Porter. We have a wide variety of e-content to address every interest and age. The Cloud Library provides access to thousands of e-books and e-audio titles, from the latest John Grisham to A to Z mysteries for kids. In addition to books, Hoopla content includes graphic novels, comics, music, movies, and TV. Borrowers are limited to 10 checkouts per month on this platform, but all the content is always instantly available, and the selection changes every month. Tumble Books is a resource, especially for kids, with storybooks, chapter books, graphic novels, puzzles, and games. Many titles are have a read aloud option that help the early readers practice by reading along with the narrator. Press Reader and America's News by Newsbank provide access to over 7,000 newspapers, magazines, from the Star Ledger to South China Morning Post. All these resources are freely available to the SCLS cardholders through the library's website, sussexcountylibrary.org. That's it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Space?
Division of Senior Services Annual Public Hearing. The Sussex County Division of Senior Services will hold its annual public hearing at 1:30 p.m. on Thursday, June 1st, 2023 at Knoll Heights Village Senior Center, 40 Trapasso Drive, Sparta, New Jersey. The purpose of the hearing is to receive comments on the proposed 2024 Area Plan Update, which generates funding for Sussex County through the Older Americans Act of 1965 as amended. The public hearing will summarize the planning and contracting process. In addition, a presentation of currently funding programs will be provided. Several service agencies will be available to provide information and answer questions. Attendees will have an opportunity to voice their opinions on current service needs for the seniors of Sussex County. Anyone who would like to testify at the public hearing or submit written testimony should contact the Sussex County Division of Senior Services by May 30th, 2023 at 973-579-0555, extension 1222, or email seniorservices@sussex.nj.us. Individuals requiring transportation to the public hearing may contact Sussex County Skylands Ride at 973-579-0480 no later than 11 a.m. on May 26, 2023 to make a reservation. Division of Health, Special Child Health Services ensures that all children with special health needs have access to comprehensive, community-based, culturally competent, and family-centered care through case management services. Case management is available for any child from birth through 21 who has special health care needs and at no cost to the families. Special Child Health Services staff attend various meetings and events through the year to educate the community about its services. In May, case managers from Special Child Health Services attended a Family Fun Day and Disability Resource Fair at Central Park of Morris. This event, hosted by Dawn Center for Independent Living, provided an excellent opportunity for members of Sussex and Morris County to learn about resources available to families. Case managers met and spoke with families to learn about their needs. Discussions were initiated to enable families with the opportunity to connect and network with providers who may assist them with both collective and individual needs. Collaboration with participating agencies allowed for the opportunity of increased referral and resources. Residents who would like to obtain more information about the services available through Special Child Health Services can call 973-948-5239. On Monday, I was invited to the Sussex County Fire Chiefs Association meeting, and I spoke on behalf of the board about the 2 grants that we are offering through ARPA, the $15,000 small business loan that they can apply for, and also the new $10,000 grant for equipment that the county would purchase. Explained it. They had some questions, and they reached back. Some of them reached back out to me today about the $10,000 one, and I spoke with Mr. Tappan. We have 4 towns that their first aid squad is also part of the fire department. So an example like Sussex, Stillwater, Hampton, and
I don't know the 4.
There was the other one. I don't know if it was, I'm not sure if it was Green. I can't remember the other one. But their questions are that since they share the same, they might share the same EIN or 990, will they be eligible to apply their first aid squad along with the fire department? Because you have some municipalities, like I'll use my town as example, Wantage, that has 2 fire companies and a first aid squad. So that would allow Wantage to apply for 3 $10,000 individually versus a town like Stillwater or Hampton that can only apply once for $10,000. So we're trying to see if there's a way that we can make it where like those towns could apply for the $10,000 for their first aid squads, but you know, it's all federal, so we'll have to see. But we're going to be following up on that. I also attended a quarterly community advisory committee meeting at Bristol Glen with surrogate Gary Cisano, and the committee's purpose was an intentional exchange of information between Bristol Glen and local community leaders. I feel it's very important coming off of COVID to have the county to have a presence in our nursing homes so that they know that they can ask questions and get answers and just feel comfortable, you know, introducing themselves back to us. So that was good. And that's about all I have.
Joe, quick question.
Sure.
Did you have a lot of fire departments that attended that and first responders?
Yeah, I would say, yeah, there were a lot there. It was
Majority
probably
of them?
yeah,
All I got to hear from you.
yeah,
That's good.
I would say about maybe 50 people in the room.
Wow.
Maybe we need to follow up with some paperwork, some emails.
I did bring paperwork with me, so I had seen Elka, so they did have paperwork, and
Perfect.
now I think the questions are starting to come in. But that was the biggest question.
It's a good question, yeah.
So, and you know, you have to take into consideration, like Sussex Borough, you know, they go out on a lot of calls.
Yeah.
So their fire department's out on a lot of calls and their first aid squad, and for us to only be able to offer them 10,000 where they could really use 20,000 of equipment, because there's first aid equipment that they could use too. And it's not like, you know, a first aid squad that represents, say, 4 municipalities, because they would still be using that same equipment. You know, they would have first aid equipment, where here we're limiting those few towns, those 4 towns, from being able to get fire equipment that they need and, the first aid squad. So especially with the regulations and, how hard it is for them to be able to fundraise, it would be really nice if we could figure something out for those 4 municipalities. So,
Right.
and the ones that brought the questions to me today aren't necessarily from those municipalities. So they're just concerned about their neighboring fire departments and first aid squads. So we'll work with ELCA. I assured them that if there was something the board can do, that, I spoke for all of us, because I'm sure there's none of us that wouldn't want to be able to help all that we can.
All right, so
with
I'll have an answer hopefully by the end of the week?
Well, that's what I would like, yeah.
Perfect.
Yep.
And you'll keep them posted?
Yep,
Perfect.
sure will.
Thank you. Commissioner Fantasia?
Before I start, as far as the fire departments go, Hamburg Fire Department had reached out to me. I sent them the information. Just a question, when we said we were going out with this, did we specifically contact every fire and EMS in the county directly? Was there direct?
They have been now through Cheryl Roberto. She had follow up with the email and sent the links. So
Okay.
they've all
received
all
it.
of them have been notified at
Perfect.
this point.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to start with, from the Health Department, the Office of Mosquito Control. Mosquito-borne disease surveillance. The testing in adult mosquitoes began on May 15th. 79 samples from 9 municipalities were submitted for the testing of 4 mosquito-borne diseases. That's Jamestown Canyon virus, Eastern equine encephalitis, West Nile virus, and St. Louis encephalitis. If you recall, Sussex County did have a fatality, I believe 2 years ago, from Jamestown Canyon virus. So we watched that very carefully. The good news is all pools came back negative. This week, the office sent 151 samples for the same diseases, which have pending results. So the pool samples went out, and then the actual mosquitoes themselves go out. Please check the mosquito control website for up-to-date results of those samples. So if you visit sussex.nj.us /mosquito and click on Mosquito-Borne Disease Surveillance Program, you can follow that. Please also visit the Office of Mosquito Control website, because this is really, really going to be a rough year, we do anticipate. The Mosquito Biology and Control tabletop display is currently being circulated around the county. It is going to be on display in the municipal buildings at Hampton, Friedan, Lafayette, and Newton from May 22nd through June 12th. The Office of Mosquito Control circulates the display in various locations and municipalities through the season to educate and raise awareness in the community. So biology brochures, pamphlets, along with some information about tick identification and prevention will be available there as well. As far as continuing education, the Office of Mosquito Control remains diligent about educating its staff and staying ahead of any threats posed by this upcoming season. So Mosquito Control's Mosquito ID Specialist, Ryan Schneider, attended a 3-day vector biology boot camp course in State College, Pennsylvania from the 16th to the 18th of May. So it's very helpful that we do stay on top of that. Also ticks, please, 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 we've received many reports about a sharp uptick, no pun intended. I really did not mean that, and that was so awful. A sharp increase in tick activity. Someone had, in some of the groups in the county, were saying that she and her husband were out walking their dog. They're frequently, outdoors people, and came back and they found roughly 50 ticks between the dog and themselves just coming back inside. We do know that having a mild winter paired with a pretty wet rainfall makes it all the more worse. So please, please check yourself for ticks. Tick-borne illnesses really tend to run rampant, specifically this time of year. So I was able to attend the Salute to Veterans. It was the 11th annual Salute to Veterans, sponsored by the Sussex Elk Lodge 2288. Commissioner Hayden was there. Commissioner Carney and Commissioner Yardley were there. Senator, oh my goodness, Assemblyman Space, he was there as well. I know Commissioner Space wanted to go, but somebody had to hold the fort down.
Somebody
So,
had to make
tagged
pizza
up.
that day.
Exactly. So, but again, thanks to Patty Green and all the sponsors, and it's also a special year for High Point State Park and the New Jersey Veterans Memorial. This is actually the 100th anniversary of High Point State Park. And Rebecca Heath Fitzgerald, she is the New Jersey State Park Service Administrator, and she was recognized, and she's a local girl actually who I graduated high school with. And it's nice to see, you know, that she's charged with that, and it was just a beautiful, incredibly windy day, but beautiful nonetheless. I only have one more update that I would like to share with you. Coming out of District 24, Senator Steve Oraho released a statement. If you are aware, there is much hubbub going on at the state level about a bill that was sponsored regarding censorship and book banning, and basically it is a bill introduced in Trenton to ban the banning of books. So some of the statements that were coming from the other side is that its intention is to keep intolerance and hatred from being infused into public libraries in New Jersey. And Republicans on the flip side of that are actually pushing back. I was able to attend a meeting last night in Morris County for a Board of Ed that is struggling with this, but they're not unique. I mean, across the state we have so many districts having this issue. What's happening is it's a conflation of the First Amendment with the distribution of pornographic material to minors. The two are not one and the same, and they are not equal. Senator Oraho did release a statement. Parents have a legitimate interest in the materials their children may be exposed to in school libraries, especially when some of the books that have raised concerns recently contain graphic depictions and descriptions of explicit sexual acts. Perhaps the problem isn't that parents are expressing their concern, it's that the books with pornographic content are ending up in school libraries in the first place. Last night, when I spoke in the meeting, I did mention that, again, free speech and pornography distribution to minors are not one and the same. Free speech is constitutionally protected. Distribution of pornography to minors is not protected, regardless of the source it comes from. Also, many schools have Chromebooks and school servers and different electronic devices that they provide to students, and those devices have firewalls. They have firewalls, so a student cannot sit and enjoy Pornhub in their classroom. There's firewalls there for a reason, to protect the students. We are seeking the firewall, the human firewall component to that, to prevent that from happening. So actually, there were bills that were introduced last year, Bill A3887 and S1571. And that would require public schools in New Jersey to post a list online of all books and materials available in a library, and mandate schools to let parents and guardians inspect textbooks and other curriculum materials. Now, neither of those have come up for a vote yet in the legislature, but I wanted to keep you all posted on an issue that is pretty slippery. It's a slippery slope for parental rights. The other issue that is on the horizon that I was alerted to also deals with parental notification and parental rights when it comes to a new update in the vaccine schedule for school-aged children. One of the vaccinations that they would like to add, the state of New Jersey would like to add to the recommended schedule, is the HPV vaccine that is on deck to be mandated. Now, for those of you that don't know, HPV has been linked to cervical cancer. Some strains, there's multiple strains, cervical cancer in women, but also it is more commonly known to the general public that it is a sexually transmitted disease that causes genital warts. Now, someone would have to explain to me from the state of New Jersey how students not getting that vaccine means that they're no longer entitled to a free public education in New Jersey. I don't envision HPV flying around a pre-algebra classroom while I'm doing my classwork there. It's not the same type of communicable disease that should, in my opinion, prevent a student from a free public education in the state of New Jersey. So just know that that's something just to watch that's coming our way to our schools and our boards of education. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Deputy Director Yardley?
Thank you. Attended Senior Citizens Day, appreciation of our senior citizens, and Jill was there, and Bill was there, and Chris Kiner was there. So it was a very good night and a very good day. So we received educational components and had the opportunity to meet each other and talk and things of that nature. But it was a good day. I think everyone had a good time that was there. Wanted to talk about, there's a senior farmers market program with seniors 60 years and older, one-time $50 electronic benefit they can get to purchase fruit and vegetables at participating farm stands. Office of Public Health Nursing is a women's clinic at Public Health Nursing, June 8th, 4 to 7 p.m. You can call Public Health Nursing. There were 375 inspections, environmental inspections. 334 of them were food establishments, and 10 were recreational bathing, 10 animal facilities, 2 body art, 6 tanning facilities. And they also had 90 plan reviews for temporary food places. Those are the food trucks and those things that travel around the county. They all get inspected by the health department so they can operate in the county. Environmental health, rabies. I found this interesting. There were 45 domestic or wild animal bites, 22 dogs, 10 cats, 1 bat, 2 raccoons, 2 coyotes, 1 fox, and 1 coati, C-O-A-T-I. I think that's how you pronounce that. And does anybody know what that is, a coati?
Yes, it's a Monday.
There's always one smarty
Yeah, I was
pants
just
in
gonna say,
the
of all, you had to ask that question, of all the people sitting up here, she owns a zoo.
I've been waiting for this one.
You want to get it?
No, I'm just going to say no comment on that one from me, but.
Okay, I had never thought that was.
But I do know there's someone that has one besides us, but.
Oh, okay. But it's, basically, it's a South American raccoon, the way I
Right.
understand it, and it's brown. It's really a very pretty animal, but I had not seen one bitten, one of those before, and I said, "What is that?" So,
Well, if you
that's
ever
the-
see anything weird, you can kind of just assume maybe I might know.
and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. All right. County Division of Engineering. Office of Bridge and Traffic Safety Annual Pavement Marking Program. The Office of Bridge and Traffic Safety, OBTS, is responsible for the maintenance of approximately 1,739 pavement markings, stop lines, railroad crossings, school words, etc., located along the county road network. On an annual basis, OBTS crews are responsible for the inspection and rating of each pavement marking. So they've been out doing a lot of work. OBTS crews have completed annual inspections on all 1,739 pavement markings. The crews have also completed the replacement of 22 out of 186, 26% of pavement markings rated as poor or missing during the inspection. This is all in-house work that our employees do. This is a big one. I know we had some issues last year, but we had a salt delivery. Obviously, we didn't use much salt, which is a good thing for some. One of them. The Division of Public Works is currently receiving salt deliveries from 11,300 ton order that was placed at the beginning of May. The salt was purchased at $64.89 per ton before the contract expired, and the price increased to $69.42 per ton. This provides a savings to the county of $51,200. That's what I have for that. As director, I get to go last, so you guys usually take all the thunder out of all the events that we go to. But I just want to say thank you to our employees for Senior Day. Senior Day was very good. I know Herb and I think Bill and Jill were there earlier. Were you not there?
No.
Sorry. Okay. Jill and Herb were there early, and then actually I went back and had some lunch. But really good turnout. Thank you for everything that you guys do, Rayanne and Lorraine and Christine and everybody, Ron and whatnot. Just really good job. Good food, good atmosphere. There was a ton of people there. They love it. I heard them talking about the food as I was walking in. They were wondering who it was, and they apparently thought it was me for some reason. I don't know. Maybe it was my picnic shirt. But the line for the ice cream was literally out the door. So it's very, very good.
And Lorraine was our snake handler for the morning. I wouldn't have done that.
Everybody was amazed.
Didn't bring it for the Monday.
So, kudos to our employees again, putting on a great event. Just to go back to the Dennis Library, I know you brought that up. Like I said, Commissioner Yardley and myself, we went there, and what we were looking at is parking. And then talking to the employees, the parking apparently is free for all. People just park there whenever they want. So I wanted to get it striped. And it is not our building. We don't own the Dennis Library, but I talked to facilities. I talked to Keith in facilities, and says we actually do work for them. We do some electrical maintenance and so on and so forth. So I told him when he gets a minute, let's paint parking stalls there, and it'll help out the crazy parking that's going on there. So that work order's in. I'm not exactly sure when that's going to happen, but that'll alleviate the crazy parking that's going on, whether it's business hours or not. People should be parking a little straighter. So I was happy to report that. When I got Keith here, we also talked about the survey that I brought up at the last meeting for the jail. We did get a proposal for the survey. We're going to have to find some money for that, but that's something that we need to do to get rid of the jail. We have to have that ready to go before we go and see what we can do with that. On the same token, Keith is meeting with Sheriff Strada in the next couple weeks to go over the new building that we're proposing over at the OEM. So that should be coming to fruition, I would think, in the next couple months here. We're on board, is very excited. I know I'm very, very excited. As you know, the savings is, it's extreme, right? For putting money into a building that we just don't need. Again, Sussex County Days, one more thing, just Memorial Day. Everybody needs to remember Memorial Day is for remembering the people that sacrifice for our freedoms today. It's not about barbecues and drinking and you know, all the other activities that we sometimes think. So we need to remember Memorial Day. That's all I have. Number 10 is the approval of the consent agenda. There is none. Number 11 is approval of minutes. This is from a regular meeting April 26, 2023, and our regular meeting May 10th, 2023. A motion to approve the minutes from our regular
So
meetings.
moved.
Mr. Space, can I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Yardley, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstain. Opposed. Carries. 12 is appointments and resignations. There are none. 13, resolutions. The Board of County, I'm sorry. Can I get a motion to adopt resolutions A through S?
I'll make it.
Commissioner Yardley, have a second. Second.
Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
Number 14 is awards of contract exchange orders in bid. The Board of County Commissioners of the County of Sussex has reviewed the award contract change orders bids consisting of various proposed resolutions and determined that adoption of the said resolutions is and will further the public's interest. I got a motion to adopt the resolutions A through G.
So moved.
Commissioner Space, can I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Yardley, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
15 is financial. We have one bills list. That's payment of bills list from May 24th, 2023. Can I get a motion to pay the bills list?
This is Bills List A.
Oh, I'm
two
sorry, there
bills.
is two. My bad, I apologize. The motion to pay bills list A.
So moved.
Mr. Space, have a second.
Second?
Mr. Fantasia, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Yes.
All right. Our next resolution is bills list B, from May 24th, 2023. Can I get a motion to pay bills list B?
Make
So
the
moved.
motion.
Commissioner Yardley, have a second. Commissioner
Second.
Hayden, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Deputy Director Yardley?
Yes.
Director Carney?
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia?
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden?
Yes.
Commissioner Space?
Abstain.
Resolution C is approving the corrective action plan in connection with the audit report for calendar year 2022 for County of Sussex. Can I get a motion to adopt Resolution C?
So moved.
Commissioner Fantasia, have a second.
Second.
Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? Roll call?
Deputy Director Yardley,
Yes?
Director Carney,
Yes.
Commissioner Fantasia,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayden,
Yes.
Commissioner Space.
Yes.
All right, 16 is personnel, there is none. 17, administrative report, Ron?
A couple of things I'd like to bring up. We had our, very important to the county was our bond rate call yesterday. It went extremely well. Another credit, as we saw last meeting from our audit, it continues on in the world of our bond rate, which is very important to the county. It acts like your credit rating. And the better it is, the better it gives you the opportunity to borrow, or it shows good fiscal management. It shows that you're doing the right things. Another credit to Elka, Mary Lee, Rob, Martina, everybody in that group with our plans, our debt plan, all the plans that we put in our finance policies that we have in place. We're a very fiscally sound group, and it was highly recommended by the call yesterday. We will get that rating on Tuesday because we're going out for a bond sale. We're predicted to go out for a bond sale on June 8th. So that rating is very important to us on that bond sale. And I have to give another shout out. I didn't ever have this in a bond rating call, but it was a very important topic yesterday that came out that we fared again very well in, and it's kudos to Jeff Cremando. We were really questioned about our cybersecurity. It's a big hot topic in the state right now, and we're doing very well with the plans he's put in place. I know everybody, sometimes it's a pain. You can't get everything exactly when you want it, but there's a reason for that. That we're keeping the bad guy out, and the systems that he's putting in this year for 365 and the multi authentication that we're going to have is a best practice in the eyes of the raters that was on that call. So they were very pleased to see that we had taken that approach. Lastly, I attended the Sussex County Day organizational meeting that's set for September 17th. So it's bigger and better than it was last year. More food trucks, more vendors, more of everything. So we're very proud to have county operations be there to support the effort and to model what we do as an operation. And Sunday is the rain day if it doesn't happen on Saturday, but it's from 12 to 4, September 17th, and we're anxiously getting ready for that. And that's really all I have for tonight.
2 questions for
Yes, sir.
you. A++ is what we have been.
Yes.
Is that the highest you can do?
Yeah, we seek to get the highest rating you can get for the amount of ratables that Sussex County has. In other words, it's based on the volume of your budget, the size of your budget, and the ratables that your town represents. We will never get the ratable as a Bergen County. We just don't have enough business, so yeah, we just can't get there. But we can get the highest rating available for our ratables that we have, and that's what we're going after.
Perfect. And then the other question I had, did you volunteer Commissioner Hayden, since he's the new commissioner, to sell hot dogs at Sussex County Day?
Oh, he's going to be the apple pie tester and the hot dog.
Just so you
I
know.
was told I had to juggle the apples.
Was that the apple pie question? Is that the apple pie tester or apple pie eating contest?
That's
A
up
little
to
bit
him.
of both. A little bit of both.
Distinction without a difference.
I can handle a lot. Fine.
That's all I have.
Thank you. Number 18, County Council, Mr. Steiner.
Just 2 quick things. I know this commission board has been persistent in its quest to obtain answers on Andover subacute, and getting stonewalled by the state at almost every turn. But we've been delayed multiple times by the state's failure to provide responses. We did send 2 updated requests recently, but we do have a June 20, 2023 hearing date, so it's less than a month away. That's number 1. Number 2, in the Kelly versus Sussex County matter, the plaintiff's complaint was dismissed yet again. I just want to read you one quote from the court's decision, which was, in reaching its decision, the court relies on public records which are distinct from the self-serving certifications upon which the plaintiff repeatedly relies. That's it. That's all I got.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 19, unfinished business.
I have 2 things. One, I wanted to follow up with Ron about, and Christina, whether the Arts and Heritage Council has submitted yet for the small business?
Nope.
Okay, because I haven't
Crickets?
received anything from the second part of it, but I'll reach out to Carol again to
I've
double
sent
check.
her an email, I didn't get a response back.
Okay, I'll reach out directly
Okay.
to her because I want to be very, very persistent. I know they need it, and I just don't want them to be overwhelmed by the process, so we might need to lend, a little bit more of a hand. Second of all, at our last meeting, we had the Lake Opakong Foundation here, and I neglected to mention that I did attend their block party in the monsoon that occurred on Saturday. The only thing I did not bring with me was shampoo because I was soaked from head to toe, as was everybody, but it was really packed for such a rainy day. It was very, very well attended. It was a nice mix of Sussex and Morris County there together. And I just wanted to mention that I talked with Marty for a little while, and he was really happy to see, that there was representation from the board there. Did you go to that?
No.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to,
No,
I
no,
forgot.
I-
I see you at so many things and I
I
don't
would- I would
remember,
just-
and I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay.
No, but I guess it sounds like I missed the rain.
You missed getting soaking wet. Yeah, it was something.
All right, is there any other, I'm finished. All right, number 20 is new business. Any new business? All right, 21, public sessions from the floor. This public session is for those wishing to make general comments of 3 minutes or less on non-agenda topics. Please line up at the microphone and state your name, municipality for the record. Any motion to open the floor for public comment?
I'll make it.
Commissioner Yardley, have a second. Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries. Is there anyone else for non-agenda topics? All right, seeing no one, can I get a motion to close the floor for public comment and return to regular business? Commissioner Space, can I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Hayden, any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, carries. All right, moving to 22, reminders. Please check the county's website, www.sussex.nj.us, for meeting schedules. There is no executive session. Number 24 is adjournment. Can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Commissioner Hayden, have a second. Commissioner Space. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries.
6:52.
Meeting is adjourned at 6:52. Get home safe, everybody. Have a good weekend. Yeah, I'm not.